Pardon me for breaking the silence of the retreat.
Pardonnez-moi de briser le silence de la retraite.
As mentioned yesterday in the first Dharma talk, a quote from the Zazen manual.
Tel que mentionné dans le premier Dharma Talk hier, une citation du manuel du Zazen.
To search for the pearl, it's best to calm the waves.
Pour chercher une perle, il est préférable de calmer les vagues.
With the water of concentration still and clear,
Lorsque les eaux de la concentration sont immobiles et claires,
the mind pearl reveals itself.
la perle de l'esprit se révèle d'elle-même.
The first task in our practice
La première tâche dans notre pratique,
to unify instead of disperse.
la première tâche consiste à unifier plutôt qu'à disperser,
To naturally allow all to return to the one that it is.
de façon naturelle, permettre à tout ce qui est de revenir à l'un,
With the body,
avec le corps,
with the breath,
avec la respiration,
and with the mind.
et avec l'esprit.
Finally, there is nothing to unify or disperse.
Finalement, il n'y a rien vraiment à unifier ou à disperser.
Then all truly springs to life.
Alors seulement, tout vient à la vie.
The true form of everything springs to life.
La forme vraie de tout ce qui est vient à la vie.
Free of the form of self.
Libéré de la forme du soi.
Being without self.
Être sans soi.
That is what and how we live.
Cela est ce que nous vivons et comment nous vivons.
Here is the great value of sustained practice.
C'est là la grande valeur de la pratique soutenue.
To confirm it in your bones.
Cela permet de le confirmer dans vos propres os.
Here is the necessity of humble practice.
Voilà où se trouve la nécessité d'une pratique humble,
Not turning it into anything.
sans la transformer en quoi que ce soit.
Here also the value of patient practice.
C'est là aussi qu'est la valeur d'une pratique patiente.
Simply giving all of ourselves to the practice.
Tout simplement, se donner complètement à la pratique.
And then the value of proper guidance.
Et c'est là aussi que se révèle la valeur d'un guide.
Quote, to search for the pearl, it's best to calm the waves.
Une citation. Pour trouver une perle, il est préférable de calmer les vagues.
With the water of concentration still and clear.
Quand l'eau de la concentration est immobile et claire,
The mind pearl reveals itself, end quote.
la perle de l'esprit se révèle elle-même. Fin de citation.
You must discern, clearly see through this in your practice.
Vous devez discerner, voir à travers cela dans votre propre pratique.
Don't just sit there in Zenistic dreams.
Ne faites pas seulement vous asseoir avec des rêves zénistiques.
Is sadness a wave to be gotten rid of?
Par exemple, est-ce que la tristesse est une vague dont il faut se défaire?
Of course, on the surface, we can speak of it that way.
Bien sûr, si on le regarde superficiellement, on peut en parler de cette façon.
See it through.
Voyez-le, voyez à travers.
Is it sadness or happiness?
Est-ce que
Is it
c'est
the wave that must be gotten rid of?
est-ce que c'est la tristesse ou le bonheur qui est une vague dont on doit se défaire?
Or is the wave what mind does with that sadness or happiness?
Ou la vague, est-ce que ce n'est pas plutôt ce que l'esprit fait avec cette tristesse ou avec ce bonheur?
To try to remove all happiness and sadness is what Zen calls cutting a wound in healthy skin.
Essayez d'enlever la tristesse ou le bonheur. C'est ce que le Zen appelle causer une blessure dans une chair qui est en santé.
It is unnecessary, artificial manipulation.
C'est une manipulation qui n'est absolument pas nécessaire et qui est inutile.
Recently, in many venues, I have been taking up the famous statement of Matsu or Baso, early Chinese Zen master.
Récemment, dans plusieurs retraites et rencontres, j'ai cité une phrase du maître Matsu, un maître ancien de la Chine.
Quote, the way needs no cultivation.
Citation. La voie n'a pas à être cultivée.
Just don't defile, make dirty or stain.
Simplement, ne la polluez pas.
I trust you see from the depths of your own practice what it is to defile.
J'ai confiance que chacun d'entre vous peut, à partir de la profondeur de sa propre pratique, voir clairement ce que veut dire polluer la voie.
Is it the happiness or the sadness that defiles?
Est-ce que c'est le bonheur ou la tristesse qui pollue,
Or is it you?
ou est-ce plutôt vous-même?
Being without self
Être sans soi
is not merely a matter of having no thoughts at all.
ce n'est pas simplement n'avoir aucune pensée.
It is not being without any emotion or feeling.
Ce n'est pas être sans émotion ou sentiment.
It is not dead.
Ce n'est pas mort.
There's nothing more alive than being without self.
Il n'y a rien, au contraire, de plus vivant qu'être sans soi.
It is undefiled, undefilable. It cannot be defiled.
Ça ne peut pas être pollué. Ça ne peut pas être sali, voilé.
Even to say it is pure is easy to misunderstand, isn't it?
Même dire que c'est pur peut être facilement mal compris.
At any rate, it is untainted by ego self.
De toute façon, ce n'est pas teinté par la personnalité ou le soi.
But that doesn't mean it doesn't feel anything.
Et ça ne veut pas dire qu'on ressent rien.
I have already gone into this years ago in a piece on no self in Zen Buddhism, so I will leave it at that.
J'en ai déjà parlé il y a quelques années dans un écrit sur le non-soi dans le bouddhisme zen. Donc, j'arrête ici.
You must see this through.
Vous devez vous-même voir à travers.
Is the pain you now feel a wave to be gotten rid of?
Est-ce que la douleur que vous ressentez actuellement est une vague dont il faut se défaire?
Drowsiness, sleepiness, is this a wave to be gotten rid of?
La somnolence est-elle une vague que l'on doit chasser?
Or is the wave what mind does with it?
Ou la vague, encore une fois, est-ce que ce n'est pas plutôt ce que l'esprit en fait?
Hell, if you're sleepy, maybe you need a nap.
Diable, si vous êtes si somnolent, peut-être avez-vous simplement besoin d'une sieste.
The mind can get caught just as easily by pain as it can by pleasure. You know this, face it.
Vous le savez déjà, n'est-ce pas? L'esprit peut être pris autant par la douleur que par le plaisir. Vous le savez bien.
Grasping on to our pleasure, we create the seeds of our own discontent, don't we?
En nous accrochant au plaisir, on sème déjà les graines de notre propre mécontentement.
that feeling is not the problem.
Ce sentiment, pourtant, n'est pas le problème.
It's when the mind tries to manipulate it and turn it into something else.
C'est quand l'esprit essaie de manipuler ce sentiment et de le transformer en ce qu'il n'est pas, en autre chose.
To deny it or to affirm it.
Soit en le niant ou au contraire en l'affirmant.
Do we really need to do that?
Avons-nous besoin de faire ça?
Confirm it in your bones.
Vérifiez-le dans vos propres os.
Sadness comes.
La tristesse vient
Sadness goes.
et la tristesse va.
Happiness comes.
Le bonheur vient
Happiness goes.
et le bonheur s'en va.
Sleepiness comes.
Somnolence vient.
Sometimes it seems to take forever, but sleepiness goes.
On dirait parfois que ça prend une éternité, et la somnolence aussi finit par s'en aller.
What does not come and go?
Qu'est-ce qui ne vient pas et ne s'en va pas?
Right here and right now.
Ici même, maintenant.
What does not come and go?
Qu'est-ce qui ne vient pas et ne s'en va pas?
Here is where real practice begins.
C'est là que commence la vraie pratique.
To mourn, to feel a deep sadness, to mourn for a lost loved one.
Pleurer, éprouver le deuil d'une personne aimée,
To honor them in that way, to honor their memory.
honorer leur mémoire de cette façon.
This is not to drown in sadness.
Il ne s'agit pas de se noyer dans la tristesse.
This is not to defile the sadness.
Ce n'est pas polluer la tristesse.
To defile it, for example, would be to destroy your life as a result.
Un exemple, polluer la tristesse, ce serait détruire votre vie en conséquence de cette tristesse.
That is not what your lost loved one would want either, is it?
Ce n'est sûrement pas ce que la personne qui est décédée, qui vous aimait, vous souhaiterait, n'est-ce pas?
That does not honor them or their memory.
Cela ne les honorerait pas et ne rendrait pas justice à leur mémoire.
Cry your eyes out.
Pleurez tous vos yeux.
Tears of pure sadness do honor them.
Les larmes de pure tristesse honorent ceux que vous avez perdus.
And thus they live freely through you.
C'est pourquoi ils peuvent alors vivre librement à travers vous.
This too is being without self.
Ça aussi, c'est être sans soi.
What remains in the heart of your practice?
Que reste-t-il au cœur de votre pratique?
What does not come and go?
Qu'est-ce qui ne vient pas et ne va pas?
Who is this?
Qui est-ce?
What is this?
Qu'est-ce que c'est?
Finally, these questions are one.
En définitive, ces questions sont une.
In and as each one of us.
En tant que chacun d'entre nous.
No bouncing back and forth here.
Ici, on ne passe pas d'une question à une autre.
Now, forget everything I've said and just lock on to it.
Maintenant, oubliez tout ce que j'ai dit et simplement cimentez-vous à la question.
Open up and confirm it yourself.
Ouvrez-vous, confirmez-le vous-même.
Stop running away from it.
Cessez d'essayer de vous en échapper.
You can't really run away from it anyway.
De toute façon, vous ne pouvez pas vraiment vous en échapper.
You just end up back here, don't you?
Vous revenez toujours ici, en fin de compte, non?
For once, see what here really is.
Pour une fois, voyez qu'est-ce que c'est vraiment ici.
And you can only do that by stopping.
Et la seule façon d'y arriver, c'est d'arrêter.
Then all is let go without a trace.
À ce moment, on laisse tout aller. Il ne reste plus aucune trace.
All is let go to be what it is.
On laisse tout ce qui est être ce que c'est.
Marvelous beyond compare.
C'est merveilleux et incomparable.
Let us live and love from here.
Laissons-nous vivre et aimer à partir d'ici.
I urge you to continue on to the very end.
Je vous conjure de poursuivre jusqu'à la fin.
I don't mean to the end of the Zazen period or the retreat.
Je ne veux pas dire jusqu'à la fin de la période ou à la fin de la retraite.
Continue on to the very end of what you call self.
Allez jusqu'au bout de ce que vous appelez soi.
When the retreat ends, what do you do?
Lorsque la retraite se termine, que faites-vous?
Return fully to the world.
Revenez complètement au monde.
Do what needs to be done there.
Faites ce qui doit être fait.
Heart full of gratitude, thanks for all.
Le cœur rempli de gratitude envers tous.
When you see that this is what must be done,
Lorsque vous voyez clairement que c'est ce qui doit être fait,
simply give yourself to the practice.
alors Donnez-vous simplement à la pratique.
It will be done.
Ça sera fait.
It will be done.
Ça sera fait.
If I can be of service, I am here for you.
Si je peux vous aider de quelque façon, je suis ici pour vous.
We are all here for each other.
Nous sommes tous ici, les uns pour les autres.
Please feel free to stand up and stretch for a moment. Thank you.
S'il vous plaît, sentez-vous à l'aise de vous lever et de vous étirer pendant une minute. Merci.
As we did yesterday, I would like to open it now for questions, concerns from all of you.
Comme nous l'avons fait hier, j'aimerais maintenant passer aux questions et aux commentaires, si vous en avez.
Again, please make your question as clear and exact as you can.
À nouveau, essayez de rendre votre question la plus claire et la plus précise possible.
This is not the time for speculative, theoretical questions.
Il n'y a pas vraiment de place ici pour des questions théoriques ou spéculatives.
This is the time for questions that come from out of the depths of our practice.
C'est plutôt le temps d'accueillir des questions qui viennent des profondeurs de votre pratique.
Marie-Claude, I leave it to you. Thank you.
There is Joe Imbert, please.
Yeah, I have a question. I have this issue with my eyes that when I'm doing Zazen and I'm looking down at a 45-degree angle, like I was taught to, for some reason, once I'm concentrating on the breath, my eyes wander up and I always end up looking straight forward instead of looking down. So I'm constantly going down and then back up, down and then back up with my eyes. And I don't know if I should avoid it or what to do about it.
Mm-hmm. Yes, Joe, it is?
Yes, sir.
This is problems with the eyes being half closed. Huh? It's a very common problem. I struggled with it for a long time too. It doesn't seem natural, does it? You know what it is to open your eyes and look around. We do that all the time. And we know what it is to close our eyes and take a nap or something. But this in-between thing, huh? It doesn't seem natural, does it? And yet it is. If you are not looking for anything, and yet your eyes are not completely closed, they would naturally do what we do in Zazen. That is, they would be half closed and just the focus would be naturally a few feet in front of you. Often if you look at people praying in church, they're doing the same thing. You're not looking outward, of course, out into what's going on. But in the ordinary sense, you're not exactly looking inside either, right? A world of thoughts and ideas and dreams and so on. That's why we don't close our eyes. So let the eyes just naturally do what they would do if you're not really focusing, using them for anything, but you're not closing them down completely either, because that's not the problem. So You just let them fall naturally in front of you. Huh? If the breathing is good, huh? It should just unify. Hmm? If not, I know what you mean. The eyes then tend to go up. Huh? Try taking a couple of deep breaths in the beginning of the Zazen and close your eyes for a moment. Then just open them a little bit so you can see a bit in front of you. And just let it happen naturally. This is what the eyes will do when left to themselves. You know, it's a little different than with the ears, isn't it? The ears are just open. We don't have to kind of open or close them. But with the eyes, it is a bit different. So it's a common problem. But I assure you, Joe, when you get used to it, it is quite a natural thing. But don't worry about it too much because there are many forms of meditation, even within Buddhism. And most, I would say, most meditation practices are done with the eyes closed, even in Buddhism. So don't worry, you're not going to go to hell or stay unenlightened if you close your eyes. The point is, do you remain clear and focused? If you do, okay. But try it for a while and see, breathing properly and just let the eyes fall naturally. There is a good reason that in Zen, it is rather an exception. We don't close the eyes, we leave them half open. You see why? Not to go into a world of dreams, right? With the eyes closed, but also because when the Zazen is over, you're not going from one state that you have cultivated perhaps with the eyes closed. The meditation is over. Now your eyes are open and there's a break. You've entered another world, so to speak. You see, we haven't made that division in the first place. We're just allowing them to be half closed. It takes some time, but I assure you, when you really get settled, it's a very good way for the practice to be really deep on the cushion and then to get up without a gap, you see, and do what needs to be done. Does that help, Joe?
Yes, absolutely. Thank you so much.
Okay. If there's still a problem, you let me know, okay? We'll come back to it.
Okay.
Give it some time. Huh?
Martha, please.
Thank you, Marie-Claude. And dear Jeff, related with this question, sometimes when I feel sleepy in Sazen, I open my eyes. Not very big, but I open because I feel I am closing and maybe go to sleep.
Yes.
Is all right?
Yes, I've read records of Zen practitioners where they're doing really, really sustained practice, days, weeks, even longer. And depends on the person, depends on the situation, how deep and steady your samadhi is, and so on. But many people, and you can read the records and find out, at some point, they're just completely exhausted. They're completely exhausted. And so some of them say, take a break to refresh yourself. Others say, splash water on your face, get up, move your body, refresh yourself, and then come back, take a couple of deep breaths and enter. Others say they open their eyes wide. And it sounds very much kind of like a willful effort, to push and then perhaps breathing more powerfully than normal. But just as a way to refresh yourself on the cushion, yes, it can be helpful. It can be helpful.
Thank you.
If you're really tired, though, consider taking a break, Martha. Okay.
Yes. Thank you, Jeff.
The practice is not going to go away if you take a nap.
Benoit, please.
Yes, I have another question, Jeff. Thank you for that Dharma talk because I opened a lot of things I understood. But 2 weeks ago, exactly 2 weeks ago, a old friend just died from a cancer. He suffered very much, very painful experience, and he died a few hours because they gave them a drug, and he passed away during the night. Then the question came up to my mind because after all, my deep question is, what is true? What is true? Because I can see everybody who die. I will, and it's a very old body, so it will pass away soon. But what's the purpose of all that? I mean, the question very strange. I would say, how about that illumination, awakening? We talk so much about it, but how can I be sure? I'm not sure at all. So I'm divided. You talk about dividing. I'm very divided because one way I like to just drop everything, go away and chill. Chill like, you chill. And I cannot do that for any reason. I keep on, I have a doubt. I have a doubt for the future of that very body. I have a doubt for the illumination. Could I reach that? I'm not sure at all. So this division create a very painful experience, and I try to calm it down. So I discovered why I was so sleepy, and that's the reason. That's the reason I was sleepy on, not because I was tired and because I was old. I'm old, okay, but not that much. No, I'm sleeping because I cannot stand that separation between I want to go, I like to leave that Zen, I like to leave that practice, but I cannot do that. So it's very disturbing. So can you tell me something about that? How can I manage that?
At this point, Benoit, the only way for you to get out of Zen is to go all the way in. You know that, don't you?
I do, yes.
Well, quit skipping around and get down to it. Huh? Your friends are dying. You don't have long to go either, do you? Huh? What is it that does not come and go in this here, now, coming and going? What is it, Benoit, that does not come and go?
Is that a question?
Fix your attention there.
Yes.
There is no division. There is no defilement in you, Benoit. You're as pure as the day you were born. Face it. Stop piling all that crap on top of it.
I understand what you say.
Yes, but you lack the samadhi concentration to see it through. It's up to you. Your lack of discipline is evident, isn't it?
Yeah, you told me that very long.
Nobody can give you that. You know that. It's up to you. You can continue to complain about it, or you can discover it for yourself. It's right under your feet, Benoit. Quit running. Quit running.
Thank you very much, Jeff. I think I can do it.
You must. As long as it's something you can do, you'll end up going for a drink or escaping some other way. See it, Benoit. This is what you must do with the life you have left, isn't it?
Yeah.
Well,
Not very long, though. Okay.
I'm here for you, as is everyone else, Benoit.
I will write to you.
Okay, I don't see any, and maybe.
Hi, Jeff. Thank you.
John,
It's David. Can you hear me?
question about the practice?
Yes.
What is it? Keep it to the point.
Um, when I'm with the koan, I find that if I hold the breath in for a half a second or a second, sometimes 2 seconds, between the exhalation and the inhalation, kind of like pranayama, but very brief, my mind attaches to the breath much better than if I just inhale and exhale. And ultimately, I can let go of it, but I was wondering with that kind of intentionality in the beginning of the round so that you can, fully concentrate in your mind, hooks onto the breath, and then you're not just inhaling and exhaling, but actually being with the breath.
Yeah, the inhalation and the exhalation has to hold the attention. It's not separate, huh? And there are forms of Zen practice that emphasize kind of pushing out at the end of the exhalation. Huh? As long as you're doing that naturally, it's fine. It can help to hold it. But if you obsess about it, I know many people who do, and they end up with stomach aches and headaches and a feeling of inferiority because they can't do it like their teacher or something. Don't obsess about the breath. Give yourself to it. And if it's helpful to breathe a little extra out at the end, then do it. But keep the focus there. Don't obsess about manipulating the breath. Hmm? Let
Thank
it
you.
come naturally and simply don't let the mind wander anywhere else. Let that breath provide the entrance.
Thank you.
I think we have still time for another question.
Jean a une question, Marc-Claude.
Oh, Jean, je t'en prie, vas-y.
Yes, I have a problem in those Zoom sessions with the pause, going up and doing things and keeping with the questioning. Uh, it's difficult for me. I become distracted. I don't know how to hold the questioning while washing the
What are
dishes.
you really questioning, Jean? If you're really questioning, that's not a problem. What are you questioning?
What is it?
What is it?
Yeah.
How are you doing that? Huh? If you're really, what is it? Then whether you get up or you sit down or you go to the toilet or you have to look at your tax returns, what is it? Why are you separating? Perhaps your samadhi is not deep enough, but it's just a matter of opening up to that what. Where is it not, Jean? Unless you cut it off and separate it. What is it? When is that question not alive?
Mm.
Stop
Distracted
creating
by
vision.
the
Well, that's your distraction. Well, are you going to apply yourself or not?
Yeah, well,
What is that distraction, John?
I
You
don't
have
know.
to you have to apply yourself all the way, not just a little bit and then wander off during the break. You're not practicing then, are you? What? What? If you don't know that, you don't know a friggin' thing, do you?
Mm.
That's how it came to me. I realized if I don't know what this is, I don't really know anything. How can I have time to take a break? How can I be distracted by something if I don't know what this is?
Mm.
John, open up. Open up. See it. Stop running from it. You are creating the distraction, aren't you? Aren't you?
Yeah.
And then you ask me how to get rid of it. Take a look at your practice, John. Take a look at your practice. Moment to moment, not just on the cushion. What is it? What is it? How can you step away from that?
But then how can I focus on a task to accomplish something?
That task is what is it? Isn't it? Of course, you have to see, is it a red light or a green light?
Yeah.
That what is it has to apply itself. Yes, that takes time, patience. That's right. Well, what is it? Keep it alive. Keep it alive. Yes, you have to apply yourself. Absolutely. We are lay people living in the world. Yes. Yes. And that's where it's got to come alive, Jean. Bring it to life. What is it? What is it? I don't understand how you can be distracted if you're really open up to it.
Well, I get focused on the task and how to organize it or.
Are they two different things?
Hmm?
Are they, is the task one thing and what is it? You as a living, is it two different things?
Should not be, eh? Hmm. Hmm.
Okay. Maybe I'll ask a very short question. With, okay, I see no and raised. So,
Yes, it's a quick question. You mentioned the things in our life, and specifically when we're sitting, pain is not something that we want to get rid of. And to the extent that we fully concentrate, the pain does go away. But at the same time, I think a lot of us fully concentrate to get rid of the pain in part. And it's difficult for me to see how you would separate them. You know, you fully concentrate, the pain goes away. But when you're in pain, it motivates you to fully concentrate. So is that, I mean,
Stop separating. You don't have to separate. When the pain is there, that concentration is that pain, isn't it? If that's what is your present experience, my knee, that pain, there it is. There it is. Stop separating it. When the concentration matures and sustains samadhi, if there's pain, the samadhi is that pain. When the pain goes away, the samadhi is that pain without a thing. It's gone. It's dissolved. You don't have to cogitate about it. You don't have to concentrate on it either, unless you're still learning how to do it. But this concentration has to become total and complete. Devote yourself to that. Okay?
Yes, thank you.
Jeff, I think it's time to have a pause and to thank you.
Thank you very much.
Thank you all for your questions and comments. Again, they're not just yours, they're everyone's. Thank you for having the courage to ask them. Let us all continue on to the end together.